I've learned something. I think it might be old age, not old age, but getting older. Maybe it's maturity. Maybe that's what they call it. Um, Even if something is goofy, and you know it's goofy, but you like it anyway, and you don't really care what other people say or think, and you do it just because you want to do it. I don't know. That's something. That's a point I'm glad I got to. Um, the scoop is made for. It's a 440 6-pack scoop. It's made for a hood twice the length of this hood, and it looks kind of goofy. It does, but I like it. I think it's radical. I think it's old school kind of, you know. Obviously, this isn't going to be like this and to blend it into the hood, but once it's done and all in one color, it won't be quite as bad. And I don't know, I just like it. I just like how radical it is. I mean, if I had a choice, I would have gotten a smaller one. I would, you know, if they made a smaller one, I would have gotten a smaller one. But I don't want an SRT hood because every kid has one on his Charger, and I don't want any other hoods they have. I would have done a shaker, but I don't have $1,400 to drop on a shaker hood for a $2,000 car. So here it is. You know, just something to tool around with, something to have fun with. So here's my course of action, and that's all still kind of roughed in. But I've made several measurements, and I ran a tape line at the peak of the hood down, and I'm, you know, kind of got the center. This scoop comes not cut out, so I'm gonna have to cut those out at some point. This will be a functioning scoop. This will be a ram air. So I'm gonna cut a hole in the hood, and then fashion some kind of, you know, they box it in basically. It's just fiberglass boxed in that directs the air down to where the air box is. Hell, I might even leave it open. I mean, it's not like it's gonna do any different anyway. It's not a high performance car, but so this is gonna be functioning. I've got to cut those out, and I'm gonna, I'm still waiting on that Evercoat stuff to come in, and I'll be using self-tappers to keep it down while that stuff cures. It keeps this, you know, fashions this onto the hood, and then I'll pull the screws out, the self-tappers out, and then start feathering out with short strand, and then do some filler on top to just smooth it and prime it, paint it. I even thought about wrapping it, but I don't know. I've never done vinyl wrap, and it's just easier for me to paint it. I might even do the epoxy, just do this epoxy that I put on the Plymouth and just leave it like that, just for the time being. Eventually I want to paint the whole car, so. So I didn't video it, but I cut out underneath, I cut the sheet metal off, the skin off, left the structure in, and there were in the middle of the structure, there were two holes, and the way I figure it, you know, they were big enough to where it'll be able to get enough air in there to where I can call it somewhat functional, but I wasn't wanting to cut any of that structure out for obvious reasons. So here's what I did, and here's what I plan to do. I'm not trying to advertise. I don't really know how it works so far. I just put it on maybe 20 minutes ago, but this is what I used to put the scoop on the hood. Another thing is, I didn't know this about these cars, but it's an aluminum hood. I didn't know that. And I could swear that the police car, or the old police car I have, is a steel hood. I mean, it was heavy enough to where it felt like a damn steel hood, but maybe I'm wrong. But this is an aluminum hood, and it's not a specialty model because the SRTs have the scoop in the front. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. So anyway, I use this stuff, and Slow SRT recommended this stuff, so I think I know I'll be good there. But this stuff wasn't cheap. I mean, it's not cheap. But man, I'll tell you what, it's been sitting for about 20 minutes, like I said, and this shit is tough. I mean, it's, you know, this is some of the extra that was laying here, and this shit, I mean, you know, even with the fiberglass, I could somewhat work it a little bit, you know, especially this soon after it started curing, but it's only been about 20 minutes, and this shit's, I mean, it's pretty tough. And then I ran out and got cheap shit from O'Reilly's. I didn't have hardener. I didn't have spreaders. I didn't have short strand. So I'm in transition phase here. We just moved in this house, and I'm waiting to get the garage built. So I've got stuff everywhere. I've got stuff here in boxes. I've got stuff over at my dad's garage in boxes because I didn't want to store all of it. So my garage is pretty much spread out, and the compressor is not in use because I'm not going to wire this garage up for the compressor and then just go ahead and turn around and take it out back. So anyway, so this is it. I'm gonna let this sit. I put these self-tappers in to keep it down flush. It wasn't sitting, it sat pretty decent, but it wasn't sitting completely flush. So I put self-tappers all around. I didn't put them in the back. I actually cut off some of this, I cut off most of this lip in the back so I can have it contour with the back of this hood with this edge. And I know it looks shitty, but I'm gonna take the flapper wheel, and just kind of go around this once this is set, and start kind of tapering it down with the flapper. And then I'm gonna take the short strand and start working that out. And then, you know, finish it up with filler. I think I've got some Evercoat over at the other garage. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just top it, and then just prime the whole thing and paint it black. I'm gonna order some matte black, I think, single stage. And I'm not gonna get too crazy with it. So I can always sand it down and respray it later if I decide to go crazy and paint the car again. Or paint the car, I shouldn't say again. So that's it. This is the beginning phase of the scoop. The 440 6-pack scoop on a 2009 Charger. I know, guys, it's a cartoon. I know it. Look at it. It's huge with the small hood, but I like it, so it is what it is. You know, I don't know. Have fun with it. Otherwise, what's the point, right? All right, guys, thanks for watching.